There's an invisible force controlling every single dollar that comes into and goes out of your life right now. And it's not the government. It's not the economy. It's not your boss. It's something far closer and far more dangerous. Stick with me till the end of this video because I'm about to reveal the hidden money traps you don't even notice, yet they control every financial decision you make. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night worrying about money? Felt that tightness in your chest? That sense that no matter how hard you work, it's never enough? If you answered yes, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not wrong. You just haven't been taught about the real game happening behind the scenes, in your mind. Here's the thing. From a young age, you were programmed. Your family, your teachers, society, they all installed software in your mind. And that software runs automatically, 24/7, deciding how much money you deserve to have, how much you can earn, and even how much you're allowed to keep. Most people live their whole lives without realizing they're trapped inside a mental prison, not built with iron bars, but with invisible beliefs. And here's the scariest part. These beliefs aren't even yours. You inherited them, like a digital virus passed down from generation to generation. I know this might sound strange right now, but over the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly how this works, and more importantly, how you can reprogram your mind to finally break free from this cycle. Because here's the truth, you don't have a money problem. You have a programming problem. So let's cut straight to what matters. The first hidden money trap silently controlling you is what we call your financial thermostat. You know how a thermostat works, right? You set it to 23 degrees Celsius. If it rises to 25 degrees Celsius, the system cools things down. If it drops to 21 degrees Celsius, it heats things up, always returning to the set point. Your brain has exactly the same thermostat for money, and it was set a long time ago. Say your internal programming tells you you're someone who earns $5,000 a month. That's your equilibrium point, your financial comfort zone. Now pay close attention to what happens. If you suddenly earn $10,000 in a month, your brain panics. You've stepped outside your program zone. So what does it do? It sabotages you. Suddenly, your car breaks down. An unexpected expense pops up. You make an impulsive purchase. You lend money to someone who'll never pay you back. This isn't bad luck. It's not coincidence. It's your thermostat pulling you back to your set point. And it works both ways. If you're used to $5,000 but suddenly drop to $3,000, your brain works just as hard to bring you back. Opportunities appear, ideas surface. You find ways to increase your income. Masters like Bob Proctor studied this their whole lives. He called it your outcome picture. Joseph Murphy referred to subconscious beliefs. Napoleon Hill talked about wealth consciousness. Different names, same principle, same trap. And here's what most people don't understand. Your financial thermostat wasn't set by you. It was installed before you turned 7 years old. Every time you heard, "money doesn't grow on trees," a line of code was written. Every time you watched your parents argue about bills, more code. Every time you felt ashamed for asking for something expensive, more code. And today, decades later, that code is still running, controlling how much you earn, how much you save, and how much you allow yourself to have. Ever wondered why some people seem to attract money effortlessly while others work 12-hour days and stay broke? It's not luck. It's not talent. It's programming. Someone programmed for prosperity sees opportunity everywhere. Someone programmed for scarcity sees problems everywhere. Same reality, different filters. And your filter keeps showing you the version of reality that matches your programming every single time. So the real question isn't, how do I make more money? The real question is, what's my current programming and how do I change it? Now, let's talk about the second trap. This one's silent, invisible, deadly. It's your financial identity. Let me explain. You're not just a body walking around making random choices. You're a story. a narrative you tell yourself about who you are. And within that story lives a financial character with very specific traits. That character might be the person who never has luck with money, or the kind soul who's great with people but hopeless with numbers, or the generous one who's always helping others but never has enough left over for themselves. Have you ever said or thought things like, "I'm just not good with money. I've never been the type to save. Money just slips through my fingers," or "I wasn't born to be rich"?
Reinforce your identity, and your brain does everything it can to keep that identity intact. Because here's the thing, your brain isn't trying to make you rich. It's trying to keep you consistent with who you believe you are. Neville Goddard taught this nearly a century ago. He said, "You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are," or more precisely, what you believe you are. So if your identity is someone who struggles with money, your brain will create situations that confirm that, because brains hate inconsistency. Think about it. If you see yourself as poor and suddenly become rich, then who are you? Your brain goes into identity crisis, and the fastest way out is to become poor again, to return to what's familiar, safe, comfortable. I know that sounds crazy. How can anyone feel comfortable being broke? But it's not about material comfort. It's about psychological comfort. It's about knowing your role in the world. If you've always been the friend who's broke, what happens when you get rich? You lose your social identity. You don't know how to relate to your circle anymore. So unconsciously, you sabotage. You go back. You preserve your identity. And here's the trick prosperity masters discovered. You can't have what you don't allow yourself to be. Joe Dispenza talks about this constantly. He says, you must become the person who already has what you want before you actually have it. You must shift your identity first, because if you try to change your circumstances without changing your identity, your circumstances will always snap back to the original pattern. That's why 70% of lottery winners lose everything within a few years. The circumstance changed, but the identity didn't. They had a rich person's bank account, but a poor person's identity. And identity always wins. So here's the uncomfortable truth no one wants to hear. As long as you see yourself as someone who's bad with money, you'll never be good with it, no matter how many strategies you learn or how many books you read.